Success is not something that happens to you. Success is something that happens because of you. And if you want different results in your life, you must become a different person. That's the law. You cannot have more than you currently have unless you become more than you currently are. It's impossible. The universe doesn't work that way. Your bank account, your relationships, your health, your happiness, they're all a direct reflection of who you are as a person, your philosophy, your attitude, your daily disciplines. Most people want to change their results without changing themselves, and that's like expecting to reap a different harvest while planting the same seeds. It won't work. If you plant corn, you get corn. If you plant weeds, you get weeds. And if you plant excuses, limitation thinking, and poor disciplines, you'll harvest a life of mediocrity and disappointment. But here's the good news, and this is what makes life so exciting. You can change the seeds you plant starting today. The first step in rebuilding yourself for success is to understand that you are where you are because of who you are. Now, some people don't like to hear that. They want to blame the economy, their boss, their spouse, their parents, their circumstances. But here's what I've learned after decades of studying success. Circumstances don't determine your future. Your response to circumstances determines your future. Two people can face the same challenge, and one will use it as an excuse while the other uses it as a stepping stone. The difference isn't in the circumstance, it's in the person. I remember years ago, I was broke and struggling, living in a one-bedroom apartment, wondering how I was going to pay the rent. I had every excuse in the book. The economy was tough. I didn't have the right connections. I didn't have enough education. I didn't have enough money to start a business. But then I met my mentor, and he said something that changed my life forever. He said, Jim, if you want things to change, you have to change. If you want things to get better, you have to get better. If you want to earn more, you have to become more valuable. That was my wake-up call. I realized I had been focusing on all the wrong things. Instead of working on changing my circumstances, I needed to work on changing myself. Instead of wishing things were easier, I needed to make myself stronger. Instead of hoping for fewer problems, I needed to develop better skills to handle problems. That's when my life began to turn around. The process of rebuilding yourself starts with your philosophy, your way of thinking about life, about success, about yourself, about others. Your philosophy is like the foundation of a house. If the foundation is weak, it doesn't matter how beautiful the house looks on the outside, it won't stand. Similarly, if your philosophy is flawed, if it's based on limitation thinking, victim mentality, or poor concepts, then no matter how hard you work, you won't achieve lasting success. Let me give you an example of how philosophy affects results. Some people have the philosophy that says, I'll believe it when I see it. But successful people have a different philosophy. They say, I'll see it when I believe it. Do you see the difference? One philosophy keeps you waiting for external proof before you'll take action. The other philosophy recognizes that belief and faith precede manifestation. One philosophy makes you a victim of circumstances. The other makes you a creator of circumstances. Your philosophy determines your attitude, and your attitude determines your actions, and your actions determine your results. So if you want to change your results, you must start by examining and upgrading your philosophy. What do you believe about money? What do you believe about success? What do you believe about your own potential? What do you believe about opportunity? What do you believe about hard work, about learning, about personal development? Most people inherit their philosophy from their environment, their family, their friends, their culture. But here's what you must understand. Just because you inherited a philosophy doesn't mean you have to keep it. You can choose a new philosophy. You can adopt the thinking patterns of successful people. You can develop empowering beliefs about yourself and your future. But you have to make that choice consciously and deliberately. The second component in rebuilding yourself is developing personal discipline. Discipline is the bridge between thought and accomplishment, between inspiration and achievement, between necessity and productivity. Without discipline, all the good intentions in the world won't help you. You can have the best philosophy, the most positive attitude, the greatest goals, but without the discipline to take consistent action, you'll remain stuck where you are. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is not about depriving yourself or making life difficult. Discipline is about making choices that align with your long-term goals rather than your short-term impulses. It's about doing what you know you should do even when you don't feel like doing it. It's about keeping promises to yourself. Most people are undisciplined in the small things, and then they wonder why they can't achieve big things. They can't get up 30 minutes early, but they want to double their income. They can't read 10 pages a day, but they want to become an expert in their field. They can't save $10 a week, but they want to become wealthy. Success doesn't work that way. Success is built on a foundation of small, consistent disciplines practiced daily. I learned this lesson the hard way. When I was struggling, I had big dreams but no discipline. I would get excited about a new opportunity, work hard for a few days or weeks, then lose momentum and give up. I was like a person who starts a diet on Monday and quits by Wednesday. I was full of good intentions but short on follow-through. It wasn't until I developed daily disciplines that my life began to change. Let me tell you about the power of daily discipline. If you read just 10 pages of a good book every day, in a year you'll have read 3,650 pages. That's equivalent to about 10 to 15 books, depending on their size. Imagine the knowledge you would gain, the wisdom you would accumulate, the person you would become by reading 10 to 15 good books in a year. But it starts with the discipline to read just 10 pages a day. The same principle applies to every area of your life. If you exercise for just 30 minutes a day, in a year you'll have exercised for 182.5 hours. That's more than 4 full weeks of exercise. If you save just $5 a day, in a year you'll have saved $1,825. In 10 years, with compound interest, that could become a significant sum. Small disciplines practiced consistently produce major results. But here's the challenge. The same small errors in judgment, repeated daily, can lead to disaster. If you spend $5 more than you earn every day, in a year you'll be $1,825 deeper in debt. If you eat just 100 extra calories a day, in a year you'll gain 10 pounds. If you watch an extra hour of television instead of reading or learning, you'll fall behind instead of getting ahead. The third element in rebuilding yourself is continuous learning. In today's rapidly changing world, what got you here won't get you there. The skills that brought you to your current level of success won't necessarily take you to the next level. You must be constantly learning, growing, and adapting. You must become a student of success, a student of your industry, a student of human nature, a student of life. Formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. Don't get me wrong, formal education is important. It gives you the basics, the foundation. But your real education begins when you leave school. That's when you start learning from experience, from books, from mentors, from successful people, from your mistakes, from your successes. The person you become 5 years from now will be determined by 2 primary influences, the books you read and the people you associate with. These 2 factors will shape your thinking, your philosophy, your attitudes, and ultimately your destiny. Choose them wisely. Read books that challenge you, inspire you, teach you. Associate with people who are going somewhere, people who have higher standards than you, people who will challenge you to become better. I remember when I first started learning about success, I was amazed at how much I didn't know. I thought I knew a lot, but the more I learned, the more I realized how little I actually knew. That's when I developed what I call intellectual humility, the recognition that there's always more to learn, always room for improvement, always opportunities to grow. One of the best investments you can make is in your own personal development. Spend money on books, seminars, courses, coaching, anything that will help you become more valuable in the marketplace. Most people spend more money on their car than they do on their mind. They'll spend $30,000 on a car but won't spend $300 on a personal development seminar. That's backwards thinking. Your car gets you from place to place, but your mind gets you from where you are to wherever you want to go. The fourth component in rebuilding yourself is goal setting. Goals are like a magnet. They attract the things that make them come true. Without goals, you're like a ship without a rudder, drifting wherever the current takes you. With clear, specific goals, you have direction, purpose, and focus. You know where you're going and why you're going there. But here's what most people don't understand about goals. The real value of setting goals is not in their achievement, it's in what you become in the process of achieving them. The person who achieves a goal is less important than the person who becomes capable of achieving that goal. It's who you become, not what you get. That's the real reward of goal achievement. When you set a goal that's bigger than you currently are, it forces you to grow. It forces you to develop new skills, new habits, new thinking patterns. It forces you to become more disciplined, more focused, more determined. The goal is just the external target. The real treasure is the person you become in pursuit of that goal. Goals must be specific, measurable, and written down. A goal that's not written down is just a wish. Writing down your goals does something powerful. It moves them from the realm of fantasy into the realm of possibility. When you write down a goal, you're making a commitment. You're saying this is important enough to me to put it in writing. Your goals should excite you and scare you at the same time. If your goals don't scare you, they're too small. If they don't excite you, they're not meaningful enough. Find the balance between challenging yourself and being realistic. Set goals that will stretch you but not break you. The fifth element in rebuilding yourself is developing better relationships. Success is not a solo journey. You need other people, mentors, peers, supporters, team members. The quality of your relationships will largely determine the quality of your life and the level of your success. Show me someone who has achieved significant success, and I'll show you someone who has built strong, positive relationships with others. But here's the key to building better relationships. You must first become the kind of person others want to have a relationship with. If you want to attract successful people into your life, you must become successful yourself. If you want loyal friends, you must be loyal. If you want honest people around you, you must be honest. If you want generous people in your life, you must be generous. Most people have this backwards. They want others to change while they remain the same. They want others to be more supportive while they continue to be critical. They want others to be more encouraging while they continue to be negative. That's not how relationships work. Relationships are based on mutual value exchange. What value do you bring to the relationship? What do you give? Not just what do you get? One of the most important relationships you can develop is with a mentor. Someone who has already achieved what you achieve, someone who can guide you, teach you, and help you avoid costly mistakes. A good mentor can compress decades of learning into years, or even months. They can help you see possibilities you never imagined and warn you about pitfalls you never saw coming. But finding a mentor is not enough. You must also become a good student. Be coachable, be teachable, be willing to listen and learn. Come prepared with specific questions. Take notes. Apply what you learn. Show respect for your mentor's time and wisdom. Remember, mentors don't owe you anything. They're sharing their knowledge and experience as a gift. Treat it as such. The sixth component in rebuilding yourself is taking care of your health and energy. Your body is the vehicle that carries you toward your goals. If you don't take care of your body, it won't take care of you. Success requires energy, vitality, and stamina. You can't perform at your highest level if you're constantly tired, sick, or run down. This means paying attention to what you eat, how much you exercise, how much sleep you get, and how you manage stress. It means treating your body like the valuable asset it is, not like a garbage disposal. What you put into your body affects your energy level, your mental clarity, your emotional state, and your ability to perform. Exercise is not just about looking good, though that's a nice benefit. Exercise is about feeling good, having energy, thinking clearly, and building the discipline and mental toughness that success requires. When you exercise regularly, you're not just building physical strength, you're building character. You're proving to yourself that you can do difficult things, that you can keep commitments to yourself, that you can push through discomfort to achieve a goal. Sleep is another critical component that most people neglect. You can't cheat sleep without paying a price. When you're sleep deprived, your judgment suffers, your creativity diminishes, your patience runs thin, and your ability to handle stress decreases. Success requires you to be at your best, and you can't be at your best if you're constantly exhausted. Stress management is equally important. Some stress is good. It motivates you and keeps you sharp. But chronic stress will destroy your health, your relationships, and your performance. Learn to manage stress through exercise, meditation, proper nutrition, adequate sleep, and maintaining perspective. Remember, most of the things you worry about never happen, and the things that do happen are rarely as bad as you imagined they would be. The seventh and final component in rebuilding yourself is developing a success mindset. Your mindset is your mental attitude, your way of thinking about challenges, opportunities, failures, and successes. It's the lens through which you view the world and interpret your experiences. A success mindset is characterized by optimism, resilience, growth orientation, and personal responsibility. People with a success mindset see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. They see failures as feedback, not as evidence of their inadequacy. They take responsibility for their results instead of blaming others or making excuses. They focus on solutions instead of problems. They ask, "How can I?" instead of saying, "I can't." One of the most important aspects of a success mindset is understanding that failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success. Every successful person has failed many times. The difference is that they didn't let failure define them or stop them. They learned from failure, adjusted their approach, and kept moving forward. I've failed more times than most people have tried. I've had businesses fail, investments go bad, relationships end, and dreams shatter. But each failure taught me something valuable. Each setback gave me information that helped me make better decisions in the future. Each disappointment built my resilience and strengthened my character. The key is to fail forward, to learn from your failures and use them as stepping stones to success. Don't let failure discourage you. Let it educate you. Don't let setbacks stop you. Let them redirect you. Don't let disappointments defeat you. Let them develop you. Another crucial aspect of a success mindset is understanding the power of persistence. Success is not about being the smartest person in the room or having the most natural talent. Success is about outlasting your competition, about continuing when others quit, about getting up one more time than you fall down. Most people give up too soon. They try something for a few weeks or months, don't see immediate results, and quit. But success takes time. It takes patience. It takes the willingness to work when you don't see immediate rewards, to invest when you don't see immediate returns, to keep going when you don't see immediate progress. I learned this lesson when I was building my first successful business. For the first year, I worked hard but saw very little progress. I was tempted to quit many times, but my mentor told me something that kept me going. He said, "Jim, success is like growing bamboo. You can water bamboo for years and see no visible growth above ground. But all that time, the root system is developing underground. Then in one season, the bamboo can grow 90 feet. Don't give up during the root growing phase." That's exactly what happened with my business. For what seemed like forever, I was building the foundation, developing skills, making connections, learning the business. Then, seemingly overnight, everything came together and success followed. But it wasn't overnight, it was the result of consistent effort over time. As you embark on the journey of rebuilding yourself for success, remember that this is not a destination, it's a lifelong process. You never arrive at a place where you can stop growing, stop learning, stop improving. The moment you think you've made it, the moment you become complacent, is the moment you start declining. Success is not a mountain you climb once. It's a mountain you must climb every day. It's not something you achieve and then forget about. It's something you must work at continuously. The disciplines that create success must be practiced daily, not just when you feel like it or when it's convenient. But here's the beautiful thing about rebuilding yourself for success. Every day you have the opportunity to become better than you were yesterday. Every day you can make choices that move you closer to your goals. Every day you can learn something new, develop a better habit, strengthen a relationship, or take action toward your dreams. The person you are today is the result of all the choices you've made up to this point. The person you become in the future will be the result of all the choices you make from this point forward. You have the power to choose who you become. You have the power to rebuild yourself for success. Don't wait for the perfect time to start. Don't wait until you have all the answers or all the resources. Don't wait until you feel ready. The time to start rebuilding yourself is now, today. This moment. Success doesn't wait for anyone, and neither should you. Start with small steps. Choose one area of your life to focus on first. Maybe it's your health. Commit to exercising for 30 minutes a day. Maybe it's your education. Commit to reading for an hour each day. Maybe it's your finances. Commit to saving a specific amount each month. Maybe it's your relationships. Commit to being more positive and encouraging. Whatever you choose, make it specific, make it measurable, and make it daily. Remember, success is built on the foundation of daily disciplines. Small improvements made consistently over time produce extraordinary results. As you begin this journey of rebuilding yourself, you'll face obstacles. You'll have days when you don't feel motivated. You'll have setbacks and disappointments. That's normal. That's part of the process. The key is to keep going anyway. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. Surround yourself with people who support your growth. Distance yourself from people who try to discourage you or hold you back. Read books that inspire and educate you. Listen to programs that motivate and challenge you. Attend seminars and workshops that stretch your thinking. Invest in your personal development as if your life depends on it, because it does. Remember, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take that step today. Make the decision today to rebuild yourself for success. Your future self will thank you for the decision you make right now. Success is not reserved for a chosen few. It's available to anyone who is willing to pay the price, to do the work, to make the changes, to rebuild themselves into the person they need to become to achieve their dreams. That person can be you, will be you, if you make the decision right now to begin. The time for excuses is over. The time for waiting is over. The time for hoping things will change is over. The time for action is now. The time to rebuild yourself for success is now. Your future is waiting for you to create it. What are you waiting for?